to on this, what's today? Sickening Sunday. You already know we at work decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. See what's the talk of the challenge going down the word in the curve. You heard me. Whoa. Oh, I forgot the new setup. I was like, why is it like this? Forgot that yesterday I was like, they changed this shit. YouTube. Had it right the other time. Wanted to hop on, chop it up with the folks and the lokes. Seeing what's good with everybody. Now, update on the G series. Since, it had gotten flagged and denied, I'm going back to the old format and I'm almost done with it, right? I kind of wanted to do a new format for the videos, for this channel, a different way of doing them. But apparently that way wasn't suitable for YouTube for, I don't know, whatever strange reasons. The thing is that they don't give the actual reason. So you kind of have to guess what it means, like guess what exactly they're talking about. Which is such a stupid way, right? But it is what it is. Because I read the guidelines that it said that it flagged, and I really don't see how that had anything to do with the flagging, right? But I guess it's different perspectives, right? People see one thing one way, and other people see it a different way. But it is what it is. So we'll just go back to the old format and we'll just do it that way. Well, I have no choice. I am actually doing it that way because I'm almost done with it. And yeah, I had to do the everything on this time, right? But Certified put me up on game, so it's a lot easier now. Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa for the raza. ¿Qué onda, loco? ¿Qué es la buena vida? A toda madre un desmadre. You shitting like a villain? You already know we posted like a stat, my boy. On this Sunday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday out there. Here in Southern California, it was a nice day. It's a little chilly now, right? But shit, earlier was pretty good day. Now you're starting to feel the coldness. It's starting to get cold though. So it'll be like that one Christmas song, "It's cold outside," where he's holding her hostage. A song where he's holding somebody hostage. She's trying to leave. He doesn't let her. He's popular, right? But I don't know for what reason, man. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why, what was a big fuss about him, though. But, that happens with a lot of people that, or stuff that starts the trend, right? I really don't get the, what the fuss is about. The internet is a strange place. Can you shout out Charlie? Go shout out Charlie. Said hi, hello there. He doesn't rap, just has he doesn't rap, he just has a catchphrase? Which is what, like saying his own name, no? Well, if you really think about it, I mean, he's not the first that's like that. I mean, you have had people like, I mean, Diddy technically was like that, right? In the beginning, and so was what's that guy's name? Fucking from Atlanta, the fucking guy from the Crunk, like the Crunk music. One of the first ones. What the fuck was that fool's name, man? Little John? Little John? Was he a part of the East Side Boys? Well, those people, I think. I'm not actually sure if that's his name. Something in the East Side Boys. The one that will go, yeah, right? He would just say a bunch of phrases. They were just like the hype men that would just do like ad libs and just come and throw little like fucking um catchphrases here and there in people's music. And for some strange reason, it seems to work. People seem to like that kind of stuff. Can I give you? Can you give me up? Give me away. But yeah, he was popular though, and I'm assuming he made a lot of money too. Most of those people do. It's mostly because of the people that decide to work with them. Like they jump on board on their like the wave of attention that they're getting, right, and use that to promote whatever they're pushing, right. I mean, essentially that's how Diddy built his empire as well, right? Like he was getting all that attention, and artists just happened to jump on board, seeing that he was trending or whatever, right? Because I mean, if you really think about like Bad Boy and what built his empire, it was actually he owes it to like all the artists. It has nothing to do with him. He started making music like towards the end, like when it was already Bad Boy was already recognized. Thanks to Biggie and all of that. But we could say the same thing for Death Row, and Suge Knight. Because like Diddy was like front page and center, even though he had nothing to do with the music. So was Suge Knight, even though he had nothing to do with the music. But you wouldn't see the same thing happening with like Ruthless Records and Easy, like with their white owner, right? He was not in the mix, like he wasn't in the scene. Like you really didn't hear about him, and he wasn't like in music videos, all up business. You feel? He was just in the back, just kicking back. What Eminem? What Eminem? This is gonna. Let's say he destroyed it. Nobody will know. What if Eminem dissed Chicano? Nah, like when people say that Eminem destroys people's careers, they're exaggerating, bro. Like people still fuck with the artist, right? Like they don't go nowhere. Nothing happens to the artist, right? Where, oh, he got destroyed. Like people say the same thing about Nas when he did Ether on Jay-Z. He destroyed his career. He ruined him, and it's like, what the fuck are you guys? Have you not seen Jay-Z's network? My guy is making a lot of money, so he seemed to be perfectly fine after Ether. And when people think about the ultimate diss song, that happens to be like one of the top ones, if not the top one that everybody always says. Ether. If not Ether, is always Hit 'Em Up. Hit 'Em Up or Ether. It's always the two that people always say. Don't get me wrong, Ether was a dope track. So was Hit 'Em Up, but I want to say it destroyed their careers. But it definitely showed a different level of class when it comes to the actual artists and their skills, right? Because Jay-Z, did get big headed and he was, talking, you know, pretty bold, saying he's the king of the New York and the best in the East and, the greatest, and in reality, Nas lyrically demolishes him. The problem with that is that when it comes to like lyrical rap, like what's actually good rap, like lyricals, rhyming and different concepts and stuff like that. That's stuff that masses doesn't dig, right? Because it is the masses prefers music that you can like groove to, like music that gives rhythm that you can dance to, compared to a song where you actually have to sit there and think about the concepts that are being said and try to decipher what they're speaking. You know what I mean? That's why Jay-Z's music elevated and Nas didn't, right? Because Nas brought a different form of rap. He brought rap at its purest form. That's why I always separate like what's MC rap and like hip hop. Hip hop, to me, is the mainstream ones, the ones that they play in clubs and people dance to and shit like that. While rap is more of the the shit that you kick back and you listen to and it makes you think and shit like that, like lyrical wordplay and shit like that. Because that's stuff that people can't really groove to. Takeover was better. Yeah, individuals. I mean, there's a lot of really good diss tracks there, right? But people don't really hear. Like I like the battle that was happening when it was Funk Volume versus a Slaughterhouse. I felt like that was a good one because you had real talented lyrical individuals, battling each other in a real beef. I thought that was pretty clean. Crooked Eye and his Slaughterhouse, companions versus Hobson and his crowd. That was pretty dope. Then there was more like rapping. People really like Eminem when he beat with Cannabis, and Cannabis could rap. Bro's lyrical rhyming, stacking. That's just legit. Jay Z's not all that opinion. Yeah, I never really digged his music. I never really liked his style. Then Jay Z says, "What is not his video?" Yeah. Well, he was trying to stay face because I mean, lyrically he did recommend. Because in Ether he was dropping a whole lot of facts in there, right? Like about like how how he looked up to Nas and because he was saying that Nas wasn't nothing, but he turned out he was looked up to Nas and Nas really wouldn't give him no time of day, and he was going around and asking for his number, and how he was a square and a nobody, and all of a sudden he's Mr. Hotshot. I mean, we've seen the same thing happen with Dr. Dre, right? What did Easy say? What did Easy say about Dr. Dre that he went from putting on lipstick and picnics? ah. Neither is Nipsey. Oh no, yeah, Nipsey. To me, I was not a fan of Nipsey, right? Um, maybe like one or two songs that I like of his at the most. I really didn't dig his music. I know a lot of people dig that. I just don't. I just really didn't like his music, his style. You know, I felt like his rapping skills were like so unpolished, right? Like it just sounded like he was putting no effort into it, right? Even sometimes keeping up with the beat, he wouldn't even do that, right? There was sometimes he was going off beat. I'm just like, it's really hard to gel with music like that. Like, I can't stand when a rapper can't go with the beat. I'm just like, I'm not digging it. I can't do that kind of like that. To me is like the ultimate next. Like when the rapper goes off beat, I just can't bump shit like that. It's like, what do you bump head to? Like what he's saying or the beat? Because you can't do both at the same time because they're not going together, right? And that normally happens when the rapper writes the rap before hearing the beat, which is a stupid way of doing music. You know, like don't start writing the rap until you hear the beat. That way you get the feel of the beat, right? You get the vibe of what type of vibe it is, whether it's a, you know, outgoing type beat or, sad beat or a fucking, talking your shit type beat, right? The whatever vibe it gives. And then you start building the, the concept of the track around that. That way the song sounds, like it's all connected and together, right? Compared to where it just sounds like you just wrote some shit for a different track and you just try to make it fit onto this beat. Nas is a better rapper. Yes, Jay Z is a businessman. Yes, he is. He doesn't care about the actual rap and the what the skills in it. He's looking to make money. While other people are in it for the love of the music, right? Like Nas, like he just like the love of the music. Jay Z wasn't happy with the love of the music. He was looking to make the Skrilla illa illa illa. Yeah, even with all that money, he still seems to not be happy and getting himself into all kinds of shit. I mean, for the cameras, it seems to be fine, right? But then you hear all this dysfunction happening in the background. I mean, with anybody, right? I mean, that's the game of life, right? But it's funny how people like to spin their narratives, right? Like paint it like if they have it like lovely, like peaches and cream. Then he got married. He never to come. He's like, where? Once they make it big, they don't go to the ghetto areas no more. They're like, oh hell no, I ain't going to those areas. I ain't going to no. You know what I mean? Once they become big, then they only start performing at like big ass venues that are like in, you know, nice areas where people have to pay all kinds of money to get inside. He's over there performing in fucking Rome and shit. To me, it's always strange, like when they travel to places like Scotland or like fucking the Philippines or fucking like, uh, like the UK, and they have all kinds of fans, right? And they're right there, like like rapping to their lyrics and shit, like. First of all, fuck your bitch and the set you claim, and it's like, man, what you motherfuckers gonna know about that life? Stop. Y'all better just stop it now. Like that is crazy. And it's always it makes me laugh because it's like people can like people hate the gangster life and the negativity and condemn these individuals for their behaviors, their actions and stuff like that, right? But man, they just love grooving to that shit though. Like, yeah, man, fuck your say and the bitch you claim, West Side won't you know? But then when actual like gang violence happens around them, like, oh my god, how can they be doing this? This is this is so disgusting and this. It's like, what? Weren't you just rapping about all this gangster shit? Yeah, like, but why can't the gangster life just exist but without the violence? What? Do you not hear those? Do you not hear how insane you sound? JC was sending money to radio stations to put him on. Hey, probably. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. That's why I'm glad for this era nowadays, right? How music is done, because before you were at mercy of all these record companies or these radio stations, right? Because they literally had the power because well, there was no internet, there was no way, like there was no way for people to hear your music or for you to put your music out there, right? So you needed these people, right? So whether kiss their asses or deal with their bullshit or getting taken advantage of, you had no choice, right? Because they had all the cards. But nowadays, you can build your own social media, through multiple ways, right? And create your own, fan base and just put out your music that way, right? Where you really don't need these individuals no more. Because before you needed them, how else were you going to get your music out there, right? You need to have connections. But now, you know what I mean? With the internet, just build your empire that way. That's why companies don't like it. Now they're at the mercy of the artists, right? Because then they're looking to sign these people that are trending. Like, come on, hey, come this way, man. And then once they do book them, right, and like if there's ever any like disagreement before between them, and then if they threaten to leave the company, right, they're just like, I'm gonna leave the company. It's gonna be bad publicity. All my fans are gonna look at you guys like the villains, and they're just not trying to deal with that, right? So they bend the will to the artist. How the mighty have fallen. Yeah, I'm on the plane right now. I just. Oh, what's cracking like a dashboard? Oh, you're on the. All right, hey. Enjoy yourself out there. Say, stay away from the tigers, eh? Oh, you gotta pay. Damn, you gotta pay for the internet on the plane? Shit, them airplanes don't fuck around. It's bad enough they charge you all this money for all these tickets. Who was the one that had said? I think it was Michael Thompson, the Lakers broadcaster. I think he had said he was on a plane and he was thirsty. You know how they don't let you carry like any liquids on the flights or whatever, but they have drinks on the plane. He asked for a bottled water, and they said that they came with a normal sized Dasani bottled water, and they wanted to charge him. I think it was $14.99. He was like, "What? For a regular bottle sized water, regular Dasani bottled water? That's fucking insane." And they got no shame in doing that, bro. Like, really? And he said, "Nah, it's cool. Nah, I don't want it." Even though this guy has all this money, he's a millionaire. he was like, even though, yeah, I'm a millionaire, because people were telling him, like, well, you have the money. He was like, shit, just because I have the money doesn't mean, I'm stupid and going to let people take advantage of me, which is true. Like that's so ridiculous to me. Like who cares if people have the money, bro? It's the principle of the thing. Like, this item is not worth that amount of money, so why pay for that amount of money? Like, just because you have money doesn't mean that you should, like, it's so stupid. Like, so it's like, so it's okay to get ripped off because you have the money, right? Because you get a gloat about it. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, I am not paying that amount of money for a fucking item if it's not worth it, right? Like, what does it do if it's just the fucking thing in itself and it just has a name to it? It's just not happening. It's gotta give me something more than that. Than just, well, you know who made this? I don't give a fuck. Oh, you're about to take off early. Orale, orale. I would have figured that you've been over there already. And like, what part of India are you going to? You don't mind me asking. If you can't even freestyle on the fast, claims to be the king. As a matter of fact, he can't even freestyle in general, bro. When he went to uh, Sway in the morning, yeah, he wasn't able to freestyle. That was probably like the worst, like, attempt of a freestyle I had ever heard in my life. Like, he was just not good at all. I was just like, wow, I would have thought he would have been able to do a little bit better than that. You know what I mean? But I was like, damn. He's like, nah, next beat. Nah, I ain't feeling that beat. Nah, I ain't feeling that beat either. Then he attempted and he couldn't. It was too the beat was too complex for him. And I'm like, bro, you're the king of rap. You're supposed to be able to adapt like nothing. That shit should be like second nature to you. It's like breathing. Some rappers do better in business than they do in rapping. Yeah, this is true. I mean, well, some people are essentially business people. Some people are smart and actually use this opportunity just to gain the money, just to do something right with that guy Chamillionaire did, right? He only made that one album, and then that money he grabbed, he invested in a company. What was it? What company was that he invested in? I forgot the name of the company, but they're like, "You're not dropping no music." He's like, "Nah, man, I would never wanted to be a rapper, man. I was just looking to get paid, grab that money, and actually invest it, and actually make more money that way because the rap thing is, it can only take you so far, which is true. Rap money can only take you so far. Eventually, people get tired, move on to a different artist. You become irrelevant. Then what you gonna do, right? And most rappers spend, thinking that the money's never gonna last. I mean, thinking that the money's never gonna end, right? Because I mean, they had never thought that they would ever have the amount of money that they have, right? So they thought that they were set. When reality hits, that's not how it works, right? Like, instead of those fucking goofy ass jewelry chains and stupid ass cars that you guys are buying, grab that money and invest it, bro. Your investments will show you your net worth. That's money, bro. These motherfuckers aren't bragging how many chains and cars they have. They're bragging about how many businesses they own, how many properties they have. That's what real wealth is, right? They have multiple businesses generating them money constantly. These people just have whatever's sitting there and that's it. You know. Well, he had his album and then he had a bunch of mixtapes, right? But they weren't actually like albums. Like those mixtapes, like for example, like G Unit has a gang of mixtapes, but they only have like two albums, or one album, if anything. I mean, me myself, I do consider the mixtapes albums, but according to the rap game, it's not. They're not really seen that way. I don't know why. Maybe because they're not original beats. I don't know, but if anything, I ain't even gonna lie. I like the mixtape better than the actual albums, in my personal opinion. About to get some tacos. That's right. In the 60s, 70s, what luxury travel? Now they charge for everything. Seriously, bro. Like, can I get an extra pillow? Yes, that'll be $10.99. Like, fuck. years of rap. So that was it to happen. Snoop Dogg's way of rapping, here I'll say this: Snoop Dogg and Little Rob have the exact identical way of rapping, just except that one is Chicano, one is like a brother, right? But they have like the most. It's like basic and goofy-ish, but it works though. You get me? Like the shit that they tend to like rhyme, and Snoop Dogg does tend to rhyme the same word with the same word over and over again, kind of like Little Rob does, right? You know, I'm writing, I'm writing with you, I'm coming for you, you know, like you and you, or up and down, and when that's like, wow, that's not rap though. You can't rhyme the same word with the same word, bro. You're not even putting no effort into it. Shit, there'll be almost whole verses where they just rhyme the same word. Like it'll be you or down throughout the whole entire of their verse, and I'm just like, really? Wow. Early in his career, company, so he had to learn about it. Yeah, that is true too. Yeah, you start to realize that these business companies are not your friends. Like, oh, we have this friendship, this relationship. This company took me out of poverty, and now they made me, somebody who has a lot of money. So they're looking out for me. We're cool. When in reality, that's not how it works, right? Like once you lose your use to them, they will just toss you away, right? And they're always gonna put their priorities before yours. You know what I mean? That's why I always think it's stupid. Like even like in sports, when these teams want these players to give them their full loyalty and commitment, but they're not willing to do the same with them. Right? Like nah, hey, but no, sign with us, bro. Talk to nobody, bro. But then when they do, then they trade them to someone else, right? It is what? That shit is crazy. Or then when they be holding, because they're looking out for their best interest of their career. Damn right, because you guys didn't do it. And it's never personal, like they say, it's just business. With these deals, they just see you as a fucking tool, an item that they can use. Like, don't worry, man. Hey, man, we cool, man. You like family. Yeah, family don't trade family. Family just don't discard family. I mean, some do, but I mean, then again, well, are they really family then? DJ Vlad in the mix. Oh, no. But I mean, like rapping wise. Do people know Vlad for being a DJ or a cop? No, well, they know him for being a YouTuber. But yeah, he was a DJ. That's his original career. He was never a cop. He's not, though. He's not a cop. People, he's a cop because they're idiots. Because they don't really understand the street life, so therefore they're reckless, right? Like Vlad is a journalist. Vlad interviews people, right? Vlad interviews people that are popular, that people that are trending, that people who have status to them, right? That people want to know about. And as a journalist, he's gonna ask the questions that all of their fans want to know, which is always the drama, the meat and potatoes of the stuff, right? So that is what he's going to ask, because that's literally why people are tuning in. They're tuning in to hear about, so and so incidents. So he's going to ask. He has no street ties. He's just a, regular white dude. So why should he care to live by any of the criminal activity? He belongs to no criminal group, right? He's not a criminal himself, right? So to try to live by those rules, right? So he doesn't have no like loyalty to no group like that to live by those rules. It's like saying, it's like trying to tell civilians that they have to live by the gangster standards, by the gangster rules. Like they can't do this, and that. Imagine if we try to regulate society like that. That's stupid, right? So why try to regulate Vlad? So Vlad asks these questions. Now, it's up to the person that he's interviewing whether they're going to want to answer the questions. They don't have to answer the questions. They don't. if they feel uncomfortable, they don't have to. Hey, I'm not down with that. Next question. What is Vlad gonna have to do? Move on to the next question. It's not like he could force him. It's not like the guy has to tell him, right? So then, if this individual says something that incriminates himself and then he gets arrested, they blame Vlad. Why are they blaming Vlad for? Blame that motherfucker for not fucking, being up on game. He told on himself. He only has himself to blame. He didn't have to answer the question. It's that simple. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm being interviewed by somebody and they ask, hey, have you ever, committed a crime or killed somebody? And I'm just like, well, since I'm being asked, I guess I got no choice but to answer, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Be like, hey, man, I ain't gonna talk about nothing like that, bro. Like, move on. Next question. Right? But as soon as they get arrested, they're like, oh, no, Vlad's the police, bro. Vlad's the police. Vlad's the police? Bro, don't give that man too much credit now. Why are you guys glazing Vlad? Vlad ain't no police. The police is the police. Rick Ross had him. Peter Vlad. So Rick Ross had what? Well, yeah. It's like these individuals are so goofy. It's like, bro, what do you think is gonna happen if you try to touch somebody like Vlad, bro? Vlad is a civilian. You go and touch any civilian, they're gonna call the cops on you and you're gonna get sued and arrested. That's what's gonna happen. These civilians don't live by gangster rules and gangster codes and more. You know what I mean? Like, if that would have been the case, they would have joined gangs. But because obviously they don't want to live by those rules, right? So they're gonna do what civilians do and what the law was created for. So these people are fucking idiots, right? If you're gonna do some shit like that, at least do it where it looks like it's legit, right? Like maybe Vlad's like going out and eating somewhere and some random guy just beats him up and robs him and it just looks like a robbery. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, bro, these people are fucking idiots. It's like they really... It's like, how dumb are you, bro? That's how I know, like, these people aren't really committing crimes like they claim that they are because they do the most stupidest shit out there that only leads me to believe, yeah, you fools ain't really doing nothing, bro. Because if you would, you wouldn't be fucking moving so reckless like you're doing. You know what I mean? That shows me that you have no idea how the law works. You really are not out there committing crimes because you would know that this shit is like straight off the bat, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Real mother. Even though people are saying criminals are dumb and gangsters are dumb, man, bro, they know how to move. They're not that reckless like that. It's not so much about like committing crimes. You also have to get away with it, right? You're also looking to get away. Not gonna get unrest. It's like, why do they choose to answer these incriminating questions? You know what I mean? It's that simple. Next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is over. Gotta get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.